Welcome to the Luz and Dolly Show. I'm Luz.
And I am Dolly. We are very excited to...
Come on, you got to do it.
I am here. I'm so here. We're so excited to be with you today. Luz and I actually have a very special program because we are going to be talking about conquering fears.
Conquering fears, and that was something that I would never have done before because what are people going to think? Dolly, that's not correct. So what? We can do it. Why?
Of course.
It's
Well,
okay.
And it's our show.
It's the Luz and Dolly Show.
It's the Luz and Dolly Show. We can do whatever we want.
No. So, Dolly, we are
Yes.
talking about conquering our fears, and there are so many that I have conquered thus far, so many that you have conquered, yet there are so many more that we need to conquer.
Yes.
So do you want to start with the ones that we've yet to do or what we have?
Well, I think I'm very realistic of the fears that I have right now. I still have. And I'm afraid of quite a few things.
So you want to
actually.
start with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
if that's okay with you.
Yeah. We're going to start, obviously, with the fears that she currently has, and I'll do the same, and then we'll share with you what we have conquered, because I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
That you can conquer fears. Okay.
You definitely can
Yes.
conquer fears. There are certain things that I am actually terrified of. And some
Can you
of
believe that? Dolly, terrified of something?
Some of you audience members are going to be thinking that I'm just ridiculous. But
We'll let them decide. Go ahead, tell them.
So
Look, she's so worked up. She's
I
like,
am. It makes me anxious.
Okay, go ahead.
So I am absolutely terrified of roller coasters. First of all,
And I love them.
I am afraid of heights.
That makes me so-
And the speed, and I'm like, oh my God, it drives me crazy. I took my son to Minnesota, and we got on a roller coaster in the mall. In the mall. So you know.
So you know it was little. Sorry, I think.
It wasn't that high. I was terrified. My tears came out because I was so scared.
Wow.
So that's
That's a big one for her. What else?
That's a big one.
I'm trying to think of what I'm afraid of. I'm sorry. You're going to have to help me maybe. Go ahead.
This may sound really goofy, but I'm terrified of worms.
My goodness, that's right. Any little insect. Luz, there's a spider. Luz, there's a bug. And here comes Luz to the rescue.
Yeah, Luz to the rescue. I am terrified of worms. They really gross me out. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do that. I just can't
So
do that.
heights and worms.
And ramps.
Like getting on and off?
Like on the expressway.
And I let her drive all the time?
Yeah, well, it's a fear that I have, and you know, it's not substantiated, I guess, but I could be driving on the expressway and there's a ramp coming. Well, I'm already seeing the columns under the ramp that support the ramp, so I look at that and that makes me so nervous.
Wow.
It makes me feel like I don't know,
Like there's no support that you don't trust?
like perhaps I just feel like oh my God, what if it falls?
So that's important
So
because
it
there's
scares
reasons
me.
when you tell me about the things that you're afraid of. There's reasons why we go through those things, and it's beautiful to just try to sit back and analyze. But I'm thinking of what I'm afraid of, Dolly. I need your help. I was totally afraid of public speaking, of picking up the phone and calling people. I don't know, let's say there was someone that we met at a gathering and they said, oh, give me a call. I'd love to chat with you about your show or to be on your show. I'm like, okay. And then Dolly's like, okay, give me the number. I'm like, that's the president or that's the CEO.
Well, remember that one time that I went to your house and this, to me, it was just like, really? I wanted
What
to
was
call
that?
Jackie Camacho.
Yes.
I wanted to call Jackie Camacho, and I'm like, oh, I got to call Jackie. And she goes, who are you going to call? And I'm like, I'm calling Jackie. And
I said, right now?
Yeah, and she's like, you know, like, don't you need to send her an email and schedule an appointment or something?
She's
I'm
like, no.
And I called her, and it was
That's
a
a good
Saturday
one.
morning.
Yeah.
And Jackie and I
Yeah.
were on the phone for like 30 minutes, and I was doing my thing with her.
And I'm close
and
to
you
Jackie,
were
and I would
shocked.
not have been able to do that. And I've shared that with Jackie. And she just laughs, and she talks about it at the book launch in May.
Yeah.
She talked about it. But thank you. So that calling, and I'm no longer afraid of calling. And public speaking, I mean, I've spoken in front of 620-something people.
Right.
So what am I afraid of? What else is there?
I don't know. You're.
I love heights. I jump out of planes.
Oh.
For my 40th, I jumped out of a plane. I love roller coasters. I crack up and laugh, laugh, laugh. Insects don't bother me. Everyone calls on me to get rid of them. On vacation with Matthew in North Carolina last week, and there was a bug that was really ugly. He's like, can you get that, Mom? But other than that,
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll have to come back
you know
to
what?
that,
It's
but
funny
I've
because
conquered a lot of things.
Public
but
speaking
I've conquered a lot of
Public
things.
speaking for me is not a big deal.
Right.
For me, I get in front of whether it be 300 people, 5 people, or 600 people,
But
whatever
is
it may be. It's like for me, it's a cinch.
Nothing. But to think of the fact that for me getting into an airplane and jumping out is like what you just said is speaking in front of 6,000 people.
Right.
So each of us, even though it's the same thing, the same idea, the same thought, have totally different reactions to it. Now we can get into conquering our fears. Because obviously, if I am able to get in front of the camera, in front of 600 plus people, fly to Mexico to speak in front of 60 or 100 students in a workshop, and it doesn't faze me now, and it did at one point, that confirms to us that we can conquer our fears.
Well, one of the things that you and I often speak of is just do it afraid.
Yes.
So, yes, although I'm absolutely terrified of roller coasters, I actually got on the roller coaster, even though it was a small one. I did 2. I was terrified. I was holding on to my life, like if I'm actually going to fall off or something. And I knew I wasn't, but it's just a fear, the speed and so on and so forth. But it's conquering your fear by doing it afraid. And another thing that I've said is, on the other side of that wall of fear is freedom. And, I mean...
So remember that next time you get on a roller coaster.
And you know
and
what?
next time there's a worm or an ant.
Oh, the worms, I don't know, the worms, the frogs, the
Any insect.
the snakes, I just can't
Just
do that.
realize that you are thousands and thousands of times larger than that little insect.
But they could jump.
And so can you, and a lot higher. So you see, she's saying one thing, and then she's like, woo!
But they can jump, it makes me nervous.
So that's the fear that we're talking about. And to me, it's so important that we realize and understand that even though you are uncomfortable, because it's a discomfort when you're in that fear-based kind of situation, to realize and understand that you are okay being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And this sounds bizarre, but it's very simple. Allow yourself the gift of feeling comfortable, being uncomfortable.
I like that.
So I can bring you a
for
plate
me-
of worms?
No.
No.
You want me to have a heart attack?
No, I want to assist you in conquering your fear.
If you put all the worms in a tank, perhaps I can be in the same
You can
room
put the
with
hand?
them. No, my God.
We're going to work on those things. The only way to overcome these fears is to actually do
I
it.
am not touching them.
She assisted me in overcoming my fear and that thing that I would get in my throat and my heart would pound when I got in front of people to speak. At our book launch in May of last year, 2015, I had a paper and I'm reading the paper. And then I realized the best thing to do, get rid of the paper, look at one person or each of the individuals that's there, speak to them as if it's your best friend, your daughter, your son, your brother, your boyfriend, your husband, and the rest just comes naturally because it comes from here, and then you've overcome your fear.
That night, I had the audience on stitches. I was laughing, I was joking, I was,
And that's your thing, and that's beautiful, and
for me,
that's
it
why.
was awesome. It was great.
So now that you have that, and you've always had that, now we need to work on overcoming the fears.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, the ramps I drive daily.
And I didn't know
so
that you had a fear of that, but
the ramps make me nervous, but I still do it afraid.
maybe rats.
We know.
Rats is the only thing because of my childhood that I rather not be near. I'm not afraid of them, but
It
don't come
grosses
near me.
out. That stuff grosses me out.
It's,
Well, one of the things is this. I think that realistically, for our audience members, if there is a fear that you do have, I think that you need to accept it. First of all, I mean, I know what
Recognize
my fears
it.
are. Recognize it, accept it, and decide whether or not first of all, is it really going to make a difference on whether or not you overcome that fear? In the sense of like me, worms, it doesn't make a difference if I overcome it because I have no intention of being around them.
But isn't it a nice thing to not be afraid of something?
I guess, but
I think that's her way to get out of overcoming those guys.
No. I think it's a sense of I'm going to focus on the things that matter most, and a worm is the last thing that matters to me. It doesn't matter, but if it's there, it doesn't mean that.
So a roller coaster in heights would be first?
The roller coaster, because my son loves roller coasters, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. So
Aw,
even
did
if
you hear that, Danny?
even if I would be absolutely terrified of them,
So for that you would, okay.
I will get on them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So it's not about me; it's about him.
That's
and making
nice.
Him happy,
But the thing is that when you went to Minneapolis and you did it, you realized that you were safe at the end.
I was, but I literally came out of the roller coaster shaking.
Aw. And now you have an experience, a place of reference. So next time you do it, I bet you it won't be that bad. Because when we jump out of that airplane
maybe
together.
if I have a little drink before I get on the
No,
road.
you have to do it sober.
It will help me calm the nerves.
So we challenge you to make a list. We challenge you to make a list of anything that you think you're afraid of, and realize what it is that you can do on your part to overcome it, because it's such a beautiful, amazing gift to be able to sit there and stand there and say, I used to, just like me, I used to be afraid of public speaking.
Or more like, I love public speaking.
Thank you, or change that thought process. So that's our challenge for you. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a great one.